Alrighty then. I had a question come in from a viewer, I believe her name was Lenore, saying that she had bought the same piece of equipment I did and asking if I had any advice. And yes, I do have some advice. The first piece of advice I would give you is to make sure that your hose that you hook up to the drain on your wheels is actually going to drain properly. Because when I first set up my piece of equipment, I had my hose a little bit wonky and it wouldn't quite drain, and I didn't notice it till I was working on it and there was water all over my table, and that sucked. My second piece of advice would be work in your wheels. I didn't do that when I first got any of my wheels, and I really should have, and I did after I first got them. What you want to do is, I don't have it around here, do I? I don't. I used some garnet. I had some garnet that didn't look like it was going to be very gemmy at all, and I took and worked my wheels for about 10 minutes. Not a lot of pressure, just like I would any other stone, made them nice and shiny. After that, my wheels were completely different. Before I did that, I had made the mistake of letting my fingernails touch the wheels while I was rubbing stones. I had also let my fingers touch the side of the wheels, thinking it wasn't going to hurt me too much. And before I knew what I had done, and I polished a few stones, although not very well, I had cut holes on the sides of my fingers, and the sides of my fingers were bleeding. And it made them raw and sore for about 3 days. And you don't want to do that. So make sure you break in your wheels. Also, don't let your fingertips sit on the sides of your wheels, and don't let your fingernails touch the wheels, because your fingernails, you won't even notice that the wheels are eating through them, but you will notice it afterwards when you go and touch the top of them and they are ultra thin. So that's my second piece of advice. My third piece of advice for what you get on this Covington is, I don't like this blade. I will use this blade for cutting stuff. I'm not worried about the edge on, because this left some definite marks in some of the pieces that I cut, whereas I went and looked and bought a crystalline prime cut continuous edge blade, and this gives me really nice clean slices. It was well worth I think it was somewhere between like 90 and 120 bucks, I'm not sure, but it's worth the money for cutting some of the stuff that I want to be cutting, opals and stuff like that. I don't want a lot of waste because of giant grooves in the cuts. So I would swap out that. As far as the machine goes, that's my only real piece of advice. If you're going to swap out the expando drum like I did, I don't have my expando drum on here anymore. In order to do that, you need to move the drive shaft over a little bit. And if you're going to move the drive shaft over a little bit, you have to cut a new plate, because the saw and the guard won't fit where they are originally positioned. So if you're going to end up putting a different wheel on there besides the expando drum on the end, you need to move the shaft over a little bit. And the best way to make a new guard plate for your Covington, best way to do that is out of a hard plastic cutting board. That was what I found. It's working awesome. I had some initial problems cutting the board, but what I did is I cut it down to size using a Sawzall, and then after that I brought it on this saw blade right here, and I cut what I needed it to be out using this saw blade, and that worked fantastic. After I did that, I had to move the guard for the blade and that shoots the water. So I just figured out where the blade was going to be, made notches where the guard was going to be, and took my Dremel tool and just took a little bit of steel out on the top. Made myself a notch. This sits in there. That's the extent of that. I have a little bit of video of that, so if you end up deciding to do this, leave me a message, send me a comment, and I'll go over the whole process of that. It's not as difficult as you might think it would be. All right, moving right along. So the other piece of advice I would have is have a clean workstation. It took me a little while to get to a clean workstation. And part of the reason it took me a little while to get to a clean workstation is because I had no idea what I was doing. I tend to be one of those guys, I'm like, all right, I want to polish rocks. Well, I need lapidary equipment, right? So I buy the lapidary equipment. None of the wheels work for what I want to polish. They don't get fine enough, and I'm not very good. I don't like the expander drum at all. So that costs me more money. It's always like there's always more money, right? So when I first started working with the dop stick, I was using a torch at first, and that wasn't working out good. I was getting stuff everywhere. And then I started using this. But the problem with using a candle or a lamp like I have is getting it to stick to the wood the first time can be sort of a pain in the butt. So I only use this if I'm doing one stone at a time, because this setup that I have right here in the corner, this whole setup cost me $16. It is a $10 hot plate from the all-accursed Walmart, a $6 stainless steel quart-sized pan with some dop wax in it. And if I'm going to put dop wax on dop sticks, I do more than one at a time in that, and keep myself a nice little box of sticks which have probably too much dop on them right now. So that would be pretty much my advice. That's about all I got. How you guys like my glasses? This is a new change. I had to wear glasses for the first time yesterday. And I tell you what, the first couple hours, I thought I was going to puke on my shoes. Yep. Has nothing to do with mine. I got yelled at about that this morning. I don't care though. So my day yesterday was a little bit weird and off kilter, and today I forgot the first couple hours to put the glasses on, and that was a little bit, after I put them back on, a little bit weird and off kilter. But I tell you what, I didn't know I had astigmatism until just now, and I did know that I had a problem seeing from a distance. But now with the glasses, man, from a distance, I can see, I can read signs so far down. It is, man, it's completely different. So, woohoo! I like the glasses. I don't want to be sticking my finger in my eye. I'm not cool with that. That's why I'm not getting contacts. Alrighty then. Oh no, I got one more thing for you guys. Fan mail. And this is a pretty awesome box of fan mail. Let me bring you over here real quick. Yes, it's a pretty awesome box of fan mail. We got some pyrite in there. And I believe this came from, yep, Jim. Jim's been following our videos for a couple of months. He's been to the fossil site and a couple other places with his wife, and they have picked up all kinds of stuff. This, I'm not sure, this has got red and green and brown in it, and that's a pretty cool ass rock. There's some rose quartz, pink, slab of some super glassy amethyst, ametrine. That's some yellow right there, some purple. It's a big thick piece of some ametrine. He sent me a giant box of rocks here. These are some little sort of industrial grade sapphires and rubies. There's just tons and tons of stuff here to work on a wheel. Giant chunk of smoky quartz. Looks like smoky quartz. That might be something else. Might even be amber. But this is a big box of rocks. Plenty of stuff to go through and cab and play with. There's my favorite color. It's already polished too. I like green. Is that malachite? I need to get a book on stones, because I don't really know as much as I should for doing a channel like this. Most people that watch my channel, they get that though. I know some of them find it sort of funny how ignorant I am about things. I'm out there trying though, boy, I tell you what. Look at that piece of agate. Maybe it's just stone. It's pretty cool looking. Yep. Thing about these rocks right here though, man, They smell like, what kind of oil is it? It's one of my wife's oils it smells like. Definitely has an oil smell. I can't remember the name of the oil. Clove. Smells like clove oil. Yep. Smells like clove oil. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Like, share, subscribe. Daily deals and giveaways are going to start on the 10th. I'm getting those set up right now. I'm not sure if I'll have another video for you before the 10th. I probably will. I'm going to start making some more dop waxes, and I'm going to start working some stones. That was the other thing. There was one other thing. Right before I sign off, let me say this. Make a bunch of dop waxes and then have a bunch of stones to go from step to step to step, because it's so time consuming to do one stone at a time. So if you're going to be working on stuff, of course, once you get the hang of it, if you're going to be working on stuff, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of trouble if you decide to work on a lot of things that are in the same process at the same time, so that you can work them. If you think they're ready, you can let them dry, so you can look at them dry before you move from one step to the other. And then you won't be wasting a bunch of time waiting on one stone to dry. You can be working another stone while those stones are drying. So that was my other thing. Set up a whole bunch of stuff and work in steps with, 5 or 6 or 7 pieces at a time. That's my last piece of advice. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Share, like, subscribe, support, whatever, man. Y'all have a great day.